Welcome back to the 8th season of the North Central Washington MVP interview series brought to you by Career Connect Washington and the Apple STEM Network. I'm your host, Carrie Horning, Career Connected Learning Specialist with the Ncesd 171. Our goal today is to introduce our community partners throughout North Central Washington to one another, and a win looks like each of you leaving with a greater understanding of the work being done throughout our region. So grab your lunch, sit back, and get ready for an extra dose of professional nourishment. So I am super excited to welcome you all in. I have two of my NCESD 171 colleagues as today's most valuable partners, Lisa Monahan and Kate Austin. They are both true examples of what it means to lead, serve, and support. Their commitment to the 29 districts we serve shines through in every project they create, and it's an honor to have them here today. Welcome in, ladies.
Thanks, Carrie.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
You are welcome. Let me do a proper introduction here and then we'll get rolling. So Lisa is a STEM and migrant academic coordinator. Kate, who wears many hats, and I'm going to try to get them all straight here, is a STEM and migrant education specialist, as well as Laser Alliance Director and OCDE Project GLAD consultant. And quite possibly there's more, but those are the ones that that I was able to grab. So let's see, we work a lot here like everybody else, but when we're not working, Lisa enjoys spending time up in the hills, mountain biking with her husband, as long as she isn't in the midst of college visits. So that's such an exciting time, Lisa. I know we've shared a lot about this, but good luck to your family, as those choices get made. Are the decisions coming pretty soon?
Yep, May 1.
May 1. Okay, that is very close. A couple weeks away here. Well, good luck with that. And then Kate, Kate is fierce. I know her from, doing some of the bodybuilding. She's also told me she's training in Thai boxing. But, the cool thing is that all takes the backseat when her little grandsons come around. I'm hearing rumors that they love to be read to, and Chicka Chicka Boom Boom's one of the favorites. So I don't have any grands yet, but I can tell you from watching my parents that there's just not a greater joy. And Kate, you're saying the same thing, huh?
Absolutely, 100%. It's just the best ever to have the little one come screaming down the hallway, Nana. So
Oh yeah. Yeah. You know what? I love doing the Facebook memories and pulling up, my old posts or whatever. And I have on there some of the posts where I felt like, oh, this might be the last time my little one's, cuddling up on my lap, and I feel like Superwoman. So I can't wait for those days. That's gonna be awesome. So, okay. Are you ready to kick this off? All right,
ready.
The backstory on this is kind of hilarious, right? I mean, it is way past the original filming time, and we've had everything from power outages to Zoom outages to flies in the office. So we're going to persevere through this. So let's get going, ladies. So we talked about it a little bit. I know both of you wear many hats in your roles there at the NCSD. And most often you're creating opportunities based on specific needs for the districts. So give us a quick peek into the programs that you're providing services for. Kind of tell us, what are you doing within the NCSD? Lisa, you want to go first?
Sure. The most immediate thing on my mind is prepping activities for migrant PAC meetings, which are parent advisory committees. And our job through Migrant is to support those with engaging activities. It may be a STEM project, it may be math, it may be something interactive with literacy. And tonight we are prepping for a math game night in a district. So looking forward to heading out there and having different stations for families and kids to play games together. And then there's other work through our OSSI department, which is the Systems and Science of Improvement. Is that right, Kate? Did I get that acronym right?
I think so.
Yep. So we work within those departments, and then occasionally I have some special projects that allow me to get out into the field and do some field work with students and partners.
Very good. I love it. Thank you. Kate, how about you?
Okay, Lisa already talked about the migrant parent nights, but that's definitely one of the things that brings us both a lot of joy. Even if we don't speak the same language as the parents, it's just, you can see it in their faces. And the kids are just so excited to engage with whatever activities are going on. So definitely that. Another part of our jobs is, like you said, based on district needs. And so when I think about district needs, they might get a hold of the ESD and say, you know, we were all trained in this system of strategies, but our teachers aren't really using it. Is there someone who could come and help support that?
Mhm.
And so we might go and do an hour long at their maybe Monday morning collaboration time and present for an hour. And then some of the districts, I get to stay for the whole rest of the day and meet with each grade level one at a time to work with them and talk to them about where they are, what supports they need, and actually help them either creating materials or think about shifting some of the ways that they teach.
Nice.
So that's just a few of the things.
Yeah, I love it. You know, it's one of the things that I found really most enjoyable about this job, that it's different every day. It really is based on those needs of those districts, and there's 29 of them, so you never quite know exactly what you're going to be doing, and it just keeps everything really fresh. So yeah, fun to hear that. All right. So usually I'd go a little bit deeper into the departments right now, but I really want to dive into these programs because I know on the backside that you both do a lot of programming with the districts and with the teachers and students. So tell us about some of that work. You kind of alluded to it, but give us some more of the details there about what type of opportunities you've created for the districts and how that's impacted both the students and the educators. Kate, do you want to go first since we're rolling here?
Sure.
Yeah.
Um, so I talked previously about strategies, and had said one of my hats, or Carrie said one of my hats was Project GLAD consultant. And GLAD means Guided Language Acquisition Design. So it's helping students who are learning English. It's really critical strategies for them, but they are good strategies for everybody. It's just how the brain likes to learn. And so I get to do a lot of that work, which is really joyful for me. And actually, way back in 2018, I think it was my second year at North Central ESD, there was state funding called Climb Time that started through the state, and it awarded different grants. And we received one of those grants at North Central ESD. And so I got to work with a colleague and write this entire unit using pictures and sketches and videos and different ways of helping kids access information on climate science. And so after we wrote it, we were really excited to get it out there and share it with people. And of course, we had an interruption in 2020. I'm sure everyone will remember what that was.
Yeah.
And so during that time, I put all of it digital online. So I have a video for every single strategy. And so now, fast forward, I get to teach this all over the state. And teachers benefit from those resources that are online and digital to help support them when they are implementing this unit. And so I have had the opportunity to reach 300 plus educators between kinder and 12th grade, and thinking about new and different strategies to get students to really be able to understand on grade level content, even if their skills are not on grade level yet. So that's one of my most favorite things that I get to do right now in my job.
Nice. You know what? This is making me think. Are you, did the solar days originate through you and your work? I mean, that's a big deal. As you know, I'm in Grant County, and that's still happening. Was that kind of your baby?
It truly was. My oldest son was in fifth grade, and so in Grant County, all fifth graders get to do the solar car races.
Mhm.
And my oldest son did it just at the building. You know, they brought the PUD, brought their tracks, and they got to build their cars like a week before and then race them and everything. And I had fairly recently been with my younger son to a different event that was high school students led different stations, and first graders got to go all around to all these different stations for a farm day event. And so I got to thinking, you know, it would be really wonderful if we could enrich this solar car races to have it expand to much more than just solar cars. And Grant PUD really appreciated that opportunity because, um, you know, they're not necessarily in solar. So, really wanting to look at hydro and wind and now nuclear. And so, just really looking at alternative forms of energy. And so now I've passed the lead over to Annette at Grant PUD. And so she is the lead coordinator. Of course, I'm still there to support. Um, but just an exciting thing. And we always battle about how long it's been going on. I think it's between 12 and 15 years. I'm not sure. So.
Yeah, what a treat for our students, though. It was one of the first things that I, kind of walked around and learned a little bit about when I came on as CCL. But Annette is amazing. It's so great that our students get to experience that here. And yeah, just having this conversation, I was like, wait, I think that's part of this as well. So very good. So that was a big, kind of a big diversion. But Lisa, I want to give you a chance to answer this as well. Can you tell us about some of the specific work you've created and how it impacted the students and educators?
Sure. So one of the things that, in addition to the GLAD strategies, we like to use visuals and games and activities that are fun and engaging to support students with their progression of math learning, wherever they are in their trajectory. We want to help them get up to their grade level content. And so we know how precious teachers' planning time is, and that time either before school or early release. So we really want to make it fun and engaging for teachers and model all the strategies that we hope to be implemented in the classroom. So there's always a time when, or not always, but often a time when teachers take on a student hat and kind of are processing the information through a student lens. And then we do some teacher reflection and think about maybe tweaks or modifications and how it can work with their context, their grade level, because we want whatever we deliver to be really applicable and relevant, not something that's just going to be buried and not accessed, So ideally, if they can use what we're doing the next day or the next week, that's high impact to us. That's a goal that we have. Another thing that I really enjoy getting to work on is coordinating STEAM in the field events. And the last one we did was in the fall here at Monahan Natural Area, right across the street from the ESD. We have Confluence State Park. And if you cross the footbridge over the Wenatchee River, you get into this natural area. And it's these events are amazing for me because I get to learn and research and meet so many cool people and bring in all these outreach folks and meet, new informal educators to help work at these various stations. But those events have just been incredible. I don't know if you want me to go into detail now, but the context is we always want to have some overarching kind of essential question that is reflective of the nature of why that area has been established or the work that's being done there, and all the stations then kind of are pieces of evidence to help answer that question. For instance, the question for our 7th grade field event in the fall was, how does the Monahan Natural Area support the plants and animals that live there? It's pretty big question, but important, and then all the stations can kind of support that big overarching question.
I think this stuff is great. I mean, first of all, I never even really knew that was there. And I can't tell you how many times I've biked the loop. A friend of mine took me paddleboarding inside that area.
Little inlets, yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, wait, where am I? This is crazy. But, that's a statement that I've made often about Grant County in terms of the career-connected learning work that I do. that I see these buildings all the time. Before I started this job, I had no idea what was going on in them. If I don't, how would we expect our students to? That, you know, there are careers out here. And so if the kids aren't being introduced and educated about these areas, um, you know, then how would they ever know? So, and as a parent, I had not told my kids that, you know, we've ridden the loop, walked the loop. So I think these are great programs. It's, you know what, you talked a little bit about STEM in the field, or STEAM in the field, and that's something, even though I know it's kind of, you know, moved to a different realm now, I'd love to have you tell us a little bit about it, just because I think it's so important, such a great opportunity.
Yeah, well, we initially received funding for this from the Climb Time Proviso, that the same grant that Kate was talking about, just encouraging climate literacy. And it was a time when we were just coming out of COVID, and we weren't sure how much professional development we were going to be able to do with teachers. So we thought, well, let's do something. Let's have it be an interactive experience with kids and teachers, and kind of teach in the motion of going through this field activity, because there's a lot of background learning that goes into the field event, and then obviously there's learning during that day, and then there's an opportunity for reflection afterwards. So it's, you know, there's a lot that goes into it. But the cool thing is that, like I was saying, we get to work with professionals in the field. We work with department, you know, folks from Department of Fish and Wildlife. We have a conservation district folks come in. With our last one here at Confluence, we had outreach educators from City of Wenatchee in stormwater. And then we had a city engineer come in and talk about the project, how they are replacing the footbridge with the road to ease congestion coming into and out of Wenatchee. And we had an artist. We always have an art station at each field event we do. That's why we have the STEAM component, and each station is aligned with a grade specific science standard. So, you know, teachers don't have to worry about doing something that is outside of the curriculum. We make sure that everything is integrated and aligns with whatever unit they're working on, and that it is grade level specific. So I've just been really appreciative of all the outreach folks who, for the most part, say yes if they have time in their calendar, because it's really a win-win. It's part of their mission and vision to do outreach and work with their community, and we kind of set up the template and the framework and bring everyone in, because teachers just don't have the time to coordinate that. I mean, it's just enough work to get the kids' field trip permission forms, get the buses set up, the lunches and all that to get out the door. You know, we do all the other legwork at the site. And so once they get there, they can just enjoy the process.
Yeah. Well, I wanted that point to be made because, again, another comparison is the Tech and Tiaras. And that's an event that, again, was, you know, financed through a grant, and brought young girls into the world of technology. And we created this template that then now the school districts have. And I love the life, you know, of these programs that we create. We create these opportunities, and then they kind of take on a life of their own as we move forward with new grant opportunities or new provisos. But yet that work still lives on. So I love that. I wanted to make sure that our listeners had a chance to kind of understand that aspect. So bravo. I know that was a really great program, and and that the schools can continue it is pretty good. And honestly, too, the other thing that seems so simple but yet isn't is those initial contacts. Our educators being able to reach out and connect with a business professional, you know, to fulfill a need. Like historically, that hasn't been the easiest thing to do. And I think over the last, at least I'd say 5+ years that I've been here, it's becoming more and more accessible, you know, for both sides to contact and say, hey, I need, you know, a summer intern, or hey, I've got a student who wants to do a job shadow, and all these things are coming together. So yeah, bravo, ladies. Okay, well, we better keep moving here. So basically, when I have, you know, done this podcast in the past, I always love to ask a question that kind of pulls at the heartstrings. I love the stories of connection. So, could each of you share, a scenario or an experience that impacted you the most, that's stayed with you and kind of drives the work and how you go about your day at the NCSD? I'll let you guys decide. Who wants to go first?
Either one. I'll jump in.
Okay, thank you.
Um, so there are so many, honestly, so many, and I truly feel blessed that there are so many that are positive and heartstrings. And it's been many years ago. Lisa had started this great program with bread making with one of our migrant parent nights, like we talked about earlier. And it was right out of COVID. So we set up our chef studio virtually at the ESD, and all the parents zoomed in, parents and kids together with all of their materials and their recipes. And we were just like a cooking show. We had, we went through the process of making the dough. Then we had the dough that was already risen that we then formed into bread and cinnamon rolls. And then we had the finished bread and cinnamon rolls. So it's like it was magic that we pulled it out. Um, and that night, I still just picture there were multiple kids and parents who would get on the Zoom, and they'd be right up here, super close, and say, chefs, chefs, what about this? Chefs. And it was just so adorable because they thought Lisa and I were, baking chefs that knew everything about everything with bread. Um, so that was a huge positive standout. I have more, but I'll stop.
And
That's
shout out to King Arthur Flour, who has created this program and given the recipe booklets, sends out little cloth bags with 2 types of flour, package of yeast, and a dough scraper to
Ooh,
family that request. So they could send out 50 sets. They've sent out 150 to bigger districts. Absolutely incredible. And their
wow.
mission is to support the love of baking and build community around baking. I mean,
Mm.
it's a perfect tie-in for our pack nights. And we have a virtual one coming up at the end of this month too. So
I
yeah.
love it. That's
Mhm.
excellent. That's the kind of flour my daughter uses for her sourdough. So that's
Yeah.
good to know.
It's really, really nice product, and the company is wonderful to work with.
Yeah.
Very generous. So
Yeah.
yeah. And sometimes the impact that we have, we don't feel it immediately, but it comes back to us, months, weeks later. I was just talking with a state park ranger at Dry Falls Interpretive Center, David, and we were talking about an event we did last year in Grant County by the at the Desert Unit Fish and Wildlife parcel of land.
Mhm.
And he said, so we doing this again this year? I said, no, it's not on the calendar this year. He said, well, I've had kids come up to me that have stopped at Dry Falls and
Yeah.
and remember the station that we did out at, he was in charge of like a hydrology station. And I'm like, you did? Like kids remembered you and they came up and had the courage to say hi? Or I mean, I just think that was so cool that they had that connection and they felt just comfortable enough to approach David. And I don't know but he said, he wanted to let me know that left an impression on the kids and they were appreciative. So that was nice. And then I can't believe it how kindergartners are so appreciative, but I was just in a kindergarten classroom Monday introducing some games, and on my way out the kids were like, wait, we want to give you a hug. And then about 10 or 12 other kindergartners followed this one child who started that process, and it was very sweet.
Yeah. Yeah.
I,
There's not much better than that.
that's a great way to start the morning right there. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I think we're filming this after school hours, but I might have to find a class to go into tomorrow just to get some some extra hugs. So
Uh-huh.
Oh, shoot. Well, I appreciate you sharing those stories with me because,
Mhm.
again, as you know, we're letting all of our listeners, know about what it is that we do. I think it's really important to kind of get to the human side of it. Uh, so with that being said, a little bit of a hard turn because we know, right, that it's a little bit hectic out there. Budgets and funding are pretty uncertain right now. So if you could, what is one message that you'd like to share about the importance of this work? Lisa, I'll stick with you if that's all right.
Sure. There's a lot of demands on the budget right now. I have just been extremely grateful for all the opportunities that our grants have provided with outdoor education and the Aussie budget to walk alongside districts and help support their improvement efforts. So there's just been a lot of learning on my behalf that I've been appreciating, and I know the teachers and the districts really value that support as well. So look forward to it continuing in some capacity in the future.
Excellent. Thank you. Kate?
Yeah. So it just makes me think of the NCESD's motto with lead, serve, and support. That we really have had the opportunity in our jobs to serve whatever it is that the districts need, to support teachers in so many different ways. And, we have been elevated to become leaders. And it's so exciting to see teachers that we've worked with who are stepping toward leadership places as well. And um, so to me, that's a lot of the importance of the work is that we are helping to elevate teachers as well, not
Mhm.
only in how they teach and how they prepare things for their students, but elevating them to become leaders as well. And so that has truly been a wonderful thing. I have a couple ladies right now who tease that they're going to be sure to take my job here in a couple of years. And so that just reminds me about the importance of our work, that it's valuable, it's valued, and there's people coming up behind us who are ready to fill those shoes as well. So just really hopeful that we get to continue what we're doing and continue to get those hugs from kids and teachers alike, which is pretty incredible. So,
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. I'd say 100% on that. Not only is it valuable, but we're also valued, that work is valued. I hear it all the time. Gosh, I wish this existed when I was in school. The way that we're introducing activities and careers and whatnot, exposure, which I'm not supposed to use the word exposure, introduction, to these students. I have to see, this is why I try to script things out because then I say something that I shouldn't. But that introduction from kindergarten all the way up to our students to say, hey, this is what's out here. These are some of the things that happen in everyday life that maybe don't happen just at your desk on a normal day going through the paperwork or the book work or whatever. So it's really great to have these life outside of the school building experiences for them. So and inside as well, obviously, but I hear that consistently. The students are, their eyes are this big and wow, I've never seen anything like this. And maybe they're on a manufacturing floor, or those business professionals who are coming into the schools or volunteering at an event saying, this is amazing, what we're getting to share with our students. So it is very important. It is valuable. And I'm with you both. My work comes from grants and provisos as well. And, everything budget wise is a little wonky right now, but feeling lucky and blessed to be able to do this work, especially with folks like you two. So I'm going to wrap things up here. I wanted to say again, thank you so much. I mean, we really did overcome a lot of obstacles to get this recorded today, which makes me happy. So thank you for taking the time to do it. Thank you for being my most valuable partners today. And thank you for doing the work that you do.
Thank you so much,
so
Carrie.
much.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Good.
Thanks, Carrie.
All right. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.